Let's go for a swim. How about that?
Okay. Actually, I haven't taken a dip for a couple of years now. I haven't had any opportunity to test out my swimming skills.
Nah, neither have I.
So, to my knowledge, if I take a dip in the water, I might drown instantly.
You're like, oh jeez. You're like Altair from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, or like the Spartans from Halo, where if the water is like waist deep, you just have a heart attack.
Yeah, just automatically, just gone. Just no more. Oh.
Maybe a super soldier, but they never actually told us to swim.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't give us like swimming lessons.
You would have thought there'd be water in alien planets.
Yeah, have you seen this armor we're wearing? That's not conducive to swimming at all. Jeez.
That's actually Wolverine's weakness. He might be
exactly.
have this healing factor, but he can still not swim because he's so heavy with all his metal skeleton.
Can't support himself in water. Yeah. But
I quote him in a comic book, quite a recent one. Basically, if I'm in water, I am fucked.
That's like the really awful implication of that is the fact that his healing factor is so powerful that he wouldn't actually die from drowning either.
Yeah, he's just stuck down there.
Just imagine that living hell. Like you're perpetually drowning, but you never die. Ugh.
Do you know if he can die from decapitation?
I think that I think they've tried that before, and like their excuse was that the adamantium made his skeleton so strong that his head actually can't come off or something. I don't know.
I guess his flesh would be cut, but no, his spine. And that's where all the good stuff is.
I can't verify this because I've read far more DC comics than Marvel comics, but
You've chosen your alliance.
I know, right? I mean, actually, I like X-Men and Spider-Man and Daredevil, so whatever. But
Oh, well, that's better than me, who has never read a comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, actually, one comic book that I've read. Have you heard of Marvel Apes?
No.
Well, basically, it's the Marvel universe, but everything
As
is
monkeys?
Yeah, everyone are monkeys.
That sounds hilarious. And
go Google image search Marvel Apes and then look at the front cover.
That sounds exactly like something Marvel would do.
Yeah, actually, in like the first couple of pages, how it gives the credits on like who wrote it, who did the art. Where I can't remember who it was by, but this person. It says proudly presents, but they crossed out the proudly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit self-aware. How this is dumb, but let's publish it anyway.
I like it when comic book companies do stuff like that. Like when they acknowledge how silly and stupid the things that they're publishing are.
Well, mainly to do with like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because there was a cover of Deadpool that mimicked exactly what the Spider-Man front cover was, where like swinging on something.
I remember that one.
And I don't know many examples of that, but I remember seeing there's a series called Deadpool Kills.
Yep.
And then there's a part where he kills himself.
Yep.
So the title of the comic was Deadpool Kills Deadpool.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I mean, Deadpool is a character ripe for that kind of thing in the first place because
that's what he does.
Yeah, his entire shtick is that he breaks the fourth wall. So, yeah, I do particularly enjoy when things like that happen. That's an instance of comic books are weird that I really love, actually.
Yeah. Too bad there's only like one or two comic book stores here in the UK.
No. Hey, man, it's
not very popular here.
Same as in the state I live in. Like, you can't find comic books anywhere around here. So we're gonna be getting another upgrade just now.
Already, but it's not a dungeon.
Yeah, this is a ground slam.
Or stomp.
The stomp ability.
Or the general term is ground pound.
Yeah, ground pound, which lets us break these.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, so we can break those by ourselves now.
We don't need help from those energy balls.
So that secret up there is one that I wanted. Like I wanted to try to coax out the little worm thing again, but it doesn't pop out when you're on the right. So you can't get that secret until basically the end of the game.
Okay.
Because you have to get another upgrade first.
Oh,
and,
this thing again.
Yeah, now we have a stomp though.
Oh, we can finally deal with this.
Yeah. You can fire your flames while doing the stomp as well. I just didn't because I'm lazy.
You want to show off your new ability?
Yeah. The stomp has a little area of effect when you hit the ground, so it's very good for taking out those armored kind of chargers.
Okay. So we've had changes to the environment, right? We've changed the poison to water.
Yep.
But we're still in the forest or rainforest or whatever.
Yep.
Are we going to be going to any other locations other than this?
Yes.
Okay, so there's like lava or snow.
Yes. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, because I know this game is like taking a weird pacing thing with the environments, because we've been in the rainforest for since the beginning.
Well, we've been in the kind of decrepit version of the forest, and now we've kind of brought it back to life. We're moving to our current objective is to go towards a section of woods that are rather far away from where we currently are. We're gonna have to traverse a mountain path to get there.
And everyone knows trees don't grow in mountains.
No, of course not.
I would know. I've been on a mountain before.
A single mountain?
Yeah, a mountain.
A whole entire mountain.
Yeah, I didn't see any trees.
Well, there you go. Conclusive proof right there.
Yeah.
I was really confused about how that jump should have worked.
Yeah, you could have just double jumped over there.
Yeah. There's also a secret. Right there.
Okay, so the world that was that was present before shit went down. Was there like some sort of society or civilization?
I'm given to understand that the answer to that is yes. Like we saw in the cutscene where Kuro stole the spirit tree's life. There were a bunch of little things that look like Ori kind of running around in front of the spirit tree.
Okay.
So I figure that there was whatever would be kind of the equivalent of intelligent life on this planet before everything went to hell, and then the spirit tree died and everything went to hell.
Alright, but now the spirit tree is back.
Yeah. We're trying to fix the world, hopefully.
What exactly compelled Ori to bring back life? Because I don't know. Did he just say to himself, "Oh, everything's all shitty. I'm just gonna revert everything back to normal"?
I guess Well, that's one of the reasons why the oops.
Nice.
Yep. That's one of the reasons why the narrative kind of feels like it's a little bit disconnected from the gameplay.
Yeah, it's very minimal.
In technical terms, I suppose we could probably infer that like Ori was brought back to life by the power of the spirit tree. So maybe there was like some compulsion to fix how everything went wrong.
Oh, or maybe the spirit tree spirit went into Ori's dead, lifeless body, and now we're playing as him, but in Ori's body.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's not explained, so...
Yeah, we've only got this made-up language talking to you.
Yeah.
We don't even know what's talking to you, to be honest.
There we go.
Well, at least I don't.
But that's kind of one of the weird things, because we don't get our full objective until we run into the spirit tree, and you know, before we run into the spirit tree, we have to find Sign, our little floating blue orb there first. So it is kind of just like, the only logical explanation would be that Ori felt a compulsion because of being brought back to life.
Yeah.
Other than that, there isn't really a reason. Pro double jumps right there.
I mean, yeah, if Ori had speech of any sort, maybe we could have got something like that, because I don't know.
That'd be a weird introduction to this game.
Well, I don't know. He looks like an infant, so maybe he might not know how to talk.
I don't know. Ori's kind of the same size as the rest of the creatures we see from her race.
Whatever. Like, to my knowledge, he's still an infant because he had like a motherly figure to, you know, to mother him.
Oh, there's nothing down in that water pool.
Useless.
Very nice water ripples, though.
Yeah. Look at that. There's even ripples where there's nothing moving.
It was
how good it is.
There was a little bit of dripping and stuff like that. So we've collected most of these secrets down here now. Got one last one kind of over this way, and then we'll start heading over to the Misty Woods.
What's in the woods?
Our next objective. We're going to be finding another key, basically, so that we can get into the second dungeon of the game.
I'm seeing a lot of, you know, because like, before, I've played a game called Outland.
Yep.
Have you heard of it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically, okay, just mix Ikaruga, if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
Which is a shoot 'em up. You toggle between like light and dark, and then the bullets, it's a bullet hell. And you know, if you're in dark mode, you can absorb the dark bullets, and other way around for light. Just turn that into a side scroller. That's basically what it is. And like it always talks about like a civilization that went away, and now I guess you're trying to bring it back. So I know that's kind of what we're doing right here, actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that game had boss battles. So generally, you know, if this game didn't look so gorgeous, I wouldn't really know what to think of this game, because
it's a fair enough assessment. Like, it's definitely a game that is competent but doesn't excel in most of its normal manners.
I feel like during development, or at least the early stages, their first thought was, let's make a game that looks really, really good, and then gameplay after. I don't know, that's just how I feel. It might not be the case, but you know, that's how I think.
I'd say that sounds like a fair enough assessment, and like I will be completely happy to admit that the entire reason I love this game so much is because it's so beautiful.
Okay.
It looks astounding in motion, and it's just like it is very simple, but it feels good to play, because the controls are really tight, and it doesn't have a lot of complex mechanics that are overloading the player with too many options. And it's a very simple, kind of clean experience that has this fucking fantastic visual style.
Yeah. Well, there was the difficulty aspect to it. So
that too, yeah.
Do you think if the developers had like more experience or like more polish to it, it could have not had really, really tough segments where it really shouldn't have?
I kind of feel like the tough segments serve to enhance the game, actually.
All right.
Like, I feel like it would be more lacking if it weren't so uncompromising in the escape sections, because they wouldn't have that extra aspect of, oh, you need to actually know what you're doing now, or else you're not going to be progressing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, it kind of runs contrary to how you explore the overworld here, but I think it's that extra aspect that kind of keeps the game lively in a way.
Right. I do feel like, going back to Dark Souls, I know I've made tons of references to it. There's a reason for that. Okay, so imagine if, like, Dark Souls, right now it's all dark and gritty and dreary, everything's dying, and that resonates with its gameplay.
Yeah.
It's really hard. But what if Dark Souls had, like, the art style of Wind Waker?
That's an interesting question that was brought up by some YouTuber I was watching a couple days ago. I don't remember who anymore. The question of, like, gameplay mechanics versus art style is definitely it's definitely an interesting one to consider, because there is a game that has an incredibly high difficulty scale, but is, like, billed as this really cutesy kind of adorable game.
Is that, like, part of the humor to it?
Well, no, it's
Or it's just hard?
yeah, it's like, it's just a hard game. Here's the opening section of the game again.
Ooh.
Where we kind of came back to life. I don't remember exactly what the game is, but I mean, there are a lot of indie games that are kind of like that anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm specifically thinking of a relatively recent one that is, like, it's one of those super hard platforming games. But it has this really, really cutesy kind of cartoonish art style, and it clashes very dramatically with how difficult the game wants to be.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think, like, Dark Souls would be.
Like, do you think that's a problem if the art style and difficulty clashes?
I think it could potentially be. In the case of, like, Dark Souls specifically, it would be, because not only does it clash with the gameplay, but it also clashes with, like, directly with the narrative.
Yeah.
Because the narrative of Dark Souls isn't so much that you're trying to bring life back to the world. We also have a little Easter egg in the background there.
Ooh.
Little Mario pipe.
Okay.
Like, the narrative of Dark Souls is kind of like, you're in this dying world and there isn't much you can do to help it, but you're going to kind of do what you can anyway. Whereas the narrative of Ori and the Blind Forest is a little more optimistic, I suppose I would say.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like this game is quite so resigned to being like, oh, the world is completely terrible and you're never going to be able to fix it, which is the impression that I get from, like, Souls games.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't mind it as much. I don't know. If Dark Souls did have, like, an art style like Wind Waker, then the lore would, of course, have to be changed.
It is also worthy of noting that this game, aesthetically speaking, does get quite dark at times. We, like you said, we've kind of been inside this really kind of serene, half dead, half lively forest for this opening section of the game, but the other locations do look have like a range between being more like foreboding and everything like that as well.
Mm-hmm. Are we you're collecting a lot of these power-up thingies. Are you just getting them, or are we also progressing at the same time?
We're getting them as we kind of move along the way towards our next objective.
Right.
Come on, let's. I want to make that double. You can make that double jump. I know I can make that double jump.
You can't use your bash ability to lift you up?
No, because there aren't any projectiles or anything. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. So we can get another ability cell. Yeah, we're collecting power-ups that are in the overworld on the path as we move along to the next location. So we see there, that's triple jump and ultra defense are at the end of that top tree.
Yeah, it seems like that tree is very utility based and doesn't really. It's just helpful.
Yep.
You know. Because like I saw water breathing there. I mean, like how the water segments are done. Like you don't really need it.
Oh, we're gonna need it eventually.